sig. I nogen gab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, Ild, Is, Trover, falder ind, ja, Jotun skaber af sig. I nogen gab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, Ild, Is, Trover, falder ind, ja, Jotun skaber af sig. I nogen gab, Niflheim, Muspelheim, Ild, Is, Trover, falder ind, ja, Jotun skaber af sig.
You're back! Hi! See you next time. I'm sure we'll see each other at the pledge. Hey. Hello. Are you also wondering why the heck we need them? Lighthouses. Why the hell are Dara and his workers pushing so hard to build the second one? Is one not enough? Is it because one is less than two and less is worse? I mean, two lighthouses next to each other are almost the same as one, and ships don't even sail this way anymore. Ah, symbolism. Yeah, maybe. Whatever that is. Aye, why would they? The waters are treacherous, so no ships. Storms and the weirdness are a deadly combination. Besides, who'd have the time to build or repair them? There are enough problems on the island. We don't need more. Well, not much going on here, as you can see. Things have been a bit different lately, due to the refugees. One was even hanged for theft. But I can't say much more as I wasn't there. If you're interested in the horns, you should visit our museum. You'll learn more about that fella, Swal, or whatever his name is. What do I think? Well, As long as they follow the rules, they can stay. And if they don't, then they can hang. That's all. Folks are saying that there's some other group, probably more dangerous, not so far from here. If they come closer, well, that wouldn't be too good. Aye, it's boring, but at least you don't have to pay to enter. But almost nobody goes there anyway. You can stay here and serve. Sit in the tavern, drink and eat something. If you're looking for an adventure, you'll have to go elsewhere. There's always something happening out in the world. But you know what? Here in the south, everything happens late. It's a big world out there, and a small one right here. From a financial standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense. Something?
Were you at the pledge? I didn't see you. Yeah. Victory over health. Honor over life. Yeah. Bandits, tribes, Sodom all. Sleep, damn it, is the worst son of a bitch I ever fought. No sleeping, no. The service is eternal. Where would we be if Seawall took naps all the time? You need to serve, not... I shut my eyes for about 15 minutes every day, sometimes 20. Besides, a true keeper doesn't sleep, he keeps watch. The Old Mother will reward me after I'm dead, but I'm not gonna lie. That potion from Eber, our physician, works miracles. You could stand on the walls all day and night and not even think about closing your eyes. What? Listen, pal, I never asked. I just came in the evenings when I was getting sleepy and took it. And then Jan put it somewhere else. Keeper's vigor. Good stuff. Excuse me? Those were local supplies for every keeper. Shit. Maybe I was stealing. Oh, I never thought about it like that. Service.
Just keep your head down. Bloody seagulls! Can you hear me? You flying vermin! Just try landing here and I'll pluck your asses clean. A keep by the sea. What a great idea that was. And what do you want? I'm fixated. Me? Oh, you didn't see what they did to me a week ago. I was just standing watch as usual, And then, suddenly, splat! A dozen of them flying overhead, screeching, shitting and whatnot. So, I yelled what I think about them, shaking my fist. And then another 4, splat! And they kept screeching. I tell you, they're laughing at me. I spent all night cleaning my armor. Sewell didn't think it through when he decided where to put the keep, mark my words. Sure. If you haven't noticed yet, everything here tries to destroy you, including the bloody seagulls. I once managed to shoot a few. I thought they'd learned their lesson and wouldn't be flying over here anymore. And guess what they did? They kept shitting. With increased force. Like they're planning it. Vengeful scoundrels. I need to try a different strategy. Find something that will make them feel real terror. Like the way crows are afraid of scarecrows in fields. I'm sure seagulls also have something that scares them. We just need to find out what it is. Oh, thank you. I just need you to bring me some kind of a bird scarer. They'll learn their lesson and keep away from me. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anyone crazy enough to take up something like this. But there is one guy in the museum, Riderick. He's supposed to know everything. Just another peaceful moment.
Welcome to the Museum of the Horns of the South, the southernmost keep under Camelot's jurisdiction. My name is Ridderick, and I will be happy to introduce you to the rich history of this fascinating place. A history that began 623 years ago with the first keeper, Sewell Firstfoot. I'd also like to bring your attention to our numerous exhibits that are, as I like to say, inanimate witnesses of the history of the Horns of the South. I have to admit that local fauna is not one of my main areas of interest, but I do know the answer to this question, as it is rooted in the history of the Horns of the South. It used to be the case that a significant part of the daily catch was gobbled up by our troublesome coastal neighbors. So the keepers of that time found a very peculiar way to deal with the problem. Some of them, called the seagullers, scared off the coastal birds using specially constructed masks. They made them from feathers and pieces of tanned pigskin sewn together. The reason the gulls avoided these masks is unclear, but perhaps their peculiar shape reminded them of a natural predator? Oh, truly? I never expected to hear such a naive question. What do they teach you in those rural schools? Likely nothing, which would explain why Avalon is in such a deplorable state. But you are fortunate, for I never refuse access to knowledge to those who wish to expand it. Saras, the flagship of King Arthur's fleet, was an exceptionally impressive construction of oak and ash wood. Unfortunately, it fell victim to rebels. A group of unfortunate individuals, misled by the empty promises of Merlin's apprentice Nimue, dared to seize Saras, and several smaller vessels also, in a clumsy attempt to return to the homelands. All of this in the midst of wartime turmoil on the eve of victory. Naturally, such treason could not go unpunished. King Arthur ordered Merlin to summon a terrible storm that dragged the rebels to the bottom of the sea. He did so to prevent anyone else from following in their footsteps. He wisely believed that returning to their homelands amounted to little more than a romanticized form of extended suicide. Honor and glory to King Arthur for that decision. Had more people followed the rebels' example, Avalon would not have retained enough population to maintain stability and form a functioning society. It began in the year 542. It is the crowning achievement of a group of keepers who were fascinated with Sewell Firstfoot. It took them years of tremendous effort to finally open an institution devoted to research and education, worthy of commemorating Sewell's great legacy. The first keeper of the museum was Gladwin Flanagan, who was personally appointed by Captain Berach the Black. I don't doubt it, since Sewell Firstfoot was a remarkable figure, well known to every keeper. Drawing on available sources, we can claim with almost absolute certainty that Sewell Firstfoot was the first man who ever set foot on the island of Avalon. As you can probably guess, that's where his moniker, Firstfoot, comes from. Of course not. That was just the first of his many great deeds. Sewell was an outstanding commander whose strategic mind, bravery, and charisma contributed to our capture of the South from the Four Dwellers. He was also the founder of the Horns of the South, so I can say with absolute conviction that if it were not for Sewell Firstfoot, we wouldn't even be standing here having this conversation. The museum holds a collection of 72 items of the so-called movable, tangible heritage. The collection includes big and small items that represent the world surrounding the keepers of the Horns of the South from the 1st to the 6th century of the Avalonian era. Here you will find militaria, craft tools, everyday objects, furniture, textiles, coins, religious artifacts. I'd say all exhibits are worthy of your attention, but I could point you to the ones I personally think to be the most notable, or subjectively, of course, the most interesting. Those would be the items that used to belong to Sewell Firstfoot. We have his signal horn, and also his boots. Those boots were the first to touch Avalonian soil. What is also worth mentioning is the tableware used by King Arthur himself during his visit to the Horns of the South in the 15th year of the Avalonian era. Yes, it's remarkable, isn't it? You can find them in the central display. Sewell's boots were sewn from 3 pieces of tanned calfskin, tied at the top with a leather strap. The seam goes through the middle of the instep, which is decorated with ornamental embroidery. On the outer side of each shoe, you can find a decorative brass buckle with the motif of the Camelotian bear. It is notable that even after 600 years, they are still excellently preserved, which is unusual considering the high humidity in this area. It means that even the keepers of that time must have realized the historical value of Sewell's boots, and therefore made sure to adequately preserve them.
Hope nothing bad happens today. Oi, friend. A question. Do you know why people always stop and watch a blacksmith at work? Because he's riveting. It's good to see a new face in this sad hole. Oh, of course. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Osbert, local master of hammers and anvils. Do you need your blade sharpened? Ha! Friend, I wish. But the only task I could use help with might be a bit too delicate for you to handle. Unless you're a master goldsmith, then feel free to prove it, and I'll have work for you immediately. There's just not enough of them to go around. And now that we're on lockdown, there's not much demand for my services either. Listen, I said I don't have any jobs, as in things I pay you for doing. That doesn't mean I can't teach you a thing or two. If you're willing to learn, that is. Since you're free to wander about while I'm stuck in the keep, maybe we can make good use of that. You've probably bashed in the skull of a beast or two, right? The alchemist. They're likely snatching up the corpses, using the muck to cook their weird concoctions. But perhaps you'd rather craft yourself some armor from those hides, huh? We should start with something simple. Let's see. I'll give you some notes on how to make armor. You gather the materials and get to work. And when you're done, you can bring it over so I can see what you've made.
Hope you're not aiming that at me.
Just keep your head down.
There you are, finally. Do you have what I need? What are you waiting for? More of... There you are, finally.
Take that, fool! I'll make you pay for that! I'm not beaten yet! You're only making me angrier!
Mountain Southers. No point in pursuing further.
We may be in for a fight.
Show me what you're made of. Your armor won't save you. You'll pay for that insult!
Mather favours me. Open this and release me. Are you serious? And here I thought no one could be dumber than Bromar. I'm Nest, of the Ulfra clan. And that's my real name. I'm nothing like that nameless fool Bromar. I'll admit, getting caught was my mistake, but his men had the numbers. Bromar might be an oaf, but I can't deny he's got some talent for banditry. That woman thinks only about business, doesn't she? Can't say I blame her. In times like these, everyone has to look after their own skin. They took everything I had, but I managed to hide Orla's package before they caught me. You can dig it up and take it to her. She'll pay you, and we'll be even. Consider it my thanks for freeing me. How should I know what rattles around in that empty skull of his? Maybe he liked what he saw, and thought he could take me for himself. Not that he got very far. Dalriata women decide for themselves who they lie with. You can't take us by force. We bite. Literally. He probably thought if he kept me here long enough, I'd soften up. He's in for a rude awakening, because I'd sooner bite through my own wrists than fall for his posturing. Finally, someone with some sense in this den of idiots. Thanks. I'll heal up and head back to my people. You didn't happen to kill that big oaf hanging around outside, did ya? Bromar no face. Suits him, with that ugly mug of his. Well, honor demands I kill the bastard, but I'll tend to my wounds first. Thanks for freeing me. You're all right for a non-reata.
face. I haven't seen you before. It depends on who's asking and why. Nah, I'm kidding. I don't meet many outsiders these days. I'm Marg, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South. I don't know what it is about this place, but even the dead hardly ever get near rest. Though I'll admit, it's getting worse lately. They keep emerging from the local cemetery in numbers greater than that small plot of land ever held. So I'm guessing we might have a necromancer on our hands. And here I thought after the Charred Conclave, we'd have more than 100 years of peace from them. Only every century or so. But even that's too often if you ask me. Something seems to draw them here. Well, it's probably all that death. The South has always been restless. And after what happened with the sunken village, I guess death has seeped into the very soil of this land. Must be quite alluring for that lot. Good. And try not to die. That undead swarm doesn't need any more recruits. I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts. Everything is interesting around here. But ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for.
goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it. You should be. These folks fell into their eternal slumber a long time ago. But some of them have turned out to be very light sleepers. Not their fault, but we should at least try not to wake them up. I'm telling you, ever since people started burning their dead, it's like they've forgotten proper manners in places like this. I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten. Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore. Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions. Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long. Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely. You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could. Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Oh, you should have said so from the start. Did you know that some prominent keepers rest in this place? You should pay your respects. Oh, and when you're back, please remind your captain of this place. It's in a dire condition. It requires his immediate attention. My name's Huardok, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body. Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service. Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while.
Careful there. Try not to step in the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile.
Stop. Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is. That is a gross oversimplification. I am conducting valuable research, and yes, I do get rid of vermin and give their sorry existence some actual meaning. Posthumously, but, well, as they say, better late than never, right? Don't tell me you care about the lives of a few bandits. I'm not desecrating anything. It's just flesh. There's nothing sacred about it in the first place. It starts decaying the moment you die. I'm merely prolonging its usefulness. And I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. I know people fear this kind of magic, but it creates so many new possibilities. It could change the meaning of life and death.
Give those who died prematurely more time with their loved ones. We could learn to live without the fear of dying. We could treat death not like an end, but like a new beginning.
Don't enjoy it either. It's messy, and it takes up far too much time that could be better devoted to my research. Think about it this way. People who wrought so much misery on others could end up bettering the lives of everyone. I've made some tremendous breakthroughs. Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What use would I have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work. And you don't understand what you're talking about. This discussion is pointless. That's absurd. Nobody on Avalon is more experienced than I am. Nobody. Very well. Do you know what I like most about the dead? They don't tire, and they don't feel pain. But you will.
Yes, I felt that. He must have been surprised. People like him tend to forget that it can happen to them too. I guess I'll do what I always do. Clean up, put everyone back to sleep, and then take a little nap myself. Someone will come along again sooner or later. We can't have them seeing such a mess, can we? Well, this master wasn't the first one. I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason. And they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place. It seems so. But before you go, I have a small favor to ask. As you can see, there's quite a commotion around here. I'm afraid I won't be able to fulfill all my duties before I need to rest again. Could you take what remains of the Master and place him in a special crypt I've prepared? If you feel so inclined, a few kind words about him would be welcome. Here's the key. Well, goodbye, then. And thank you for stopping by. It was truly appreciated. Though we are dead, we still enjoy having a visitor from time to time. It's nice to be remembered, even if just for a little while.
So he shares the same fate as his minions. Ironic, don't you think? Well, at least we'll have some peace and quiet around here again. And the dead might be restless for a bit. But I'm sure Huaradak will put them back to sleep. You can report a job well done to the quartermaster. Aye, I do. He's a very pleasant fellow. I may not be very fond of his masters, but well, who am I to judge a man for the oaths he's bound to? And he has a lot of respect for the dead. I wouldn't mind having someone like him looking after me after I finally shuffle off this mortal coil. You fought and you won. That's all that matters to me. We're both busy individuals. And maybe one day, if Avalon permits, we'll share this tale by the campfire. But for now, let's focus on what's in front of us. Since you've proven you're brave enough to face the undead, I take it you're not afraid of the night either, are you? I might have another job for you if you're interested. A little while ago, another traveler came through here bragging that he found a place where you could easily gather ethereal cobwebs. He was supposed to return with proof, but, well, I'm afraid he may have met an unfortunate end, as often happens. But I'm still curious about the place he mentioned. It's just a stranger who wanted to share the fire for a while. I never asked his name. I didn't see the point. There are those on Avalon who love the thrill of braving the night. They don't usually live very long. I think he mistook me for a kindred spirit. When you wander through the weirdness and observe the creatures it has altered, you'll notice a strange substance covering them. That's ethereal cobweb. And no one knows where it comes from. Although some scholars suspect it's the weirdness in its tangible form. I thought it could only be harvested from the bodies of those changed by the weirdness. But if that traveler was right, then there might be an easier way. Or to build a weirdness-repelling fire, of course. Look, if you're ever out at night with no safe place to shelter, ethereal cobwebs can save your life. It's like a temporary personal menhir. That's good. Hand me a map. I don't know the exact location, but you should find it in this area. Good luck.
Stay out of my way.
That's one of our tags. Every soldier gets one when they pledge their loyalty. I just hope the body you took it from was already cold, because killing a keeper would land you in some serious trouble. You know, here's what I'm thinking. If you stumble over any of our fallen keepers out there, bring me their tags. Sure, they all swore to stay here until the bitter end, but they have families who deserve to know what became of them. It's part of my duty, but since I can't send any more beyond these walls, maybe you could lend a hand. I'll pay you for every tag you bring back. Yes? Did you find out what's been happening out there? Great. A necromancer. Just what we needed. It wasn't the Dark Druid from the legends, was it? Good thing you got rid of him then. We already have the Dalriada almost on our doorstep. We don't need an army of the undead to boot. You did well. Maybe it's not so bad having you here. Hmm? You've done your part in proving your worth. All right. You deserve the truth. You won't find the captain at the Horns of the South. He ordered us to lock down the keep, and then he disappeared. I have my suspicions about where he might be, but I can't say for sure. And frankly, I hope I'm wrong. Brandon once said he wasn't afraid to go to the Dol Riada, and the way he said it, I couldn't tell if he was joking. So maybe he went to make a deal with them? I think that's ridiculous. Everyone knows the Dol Riada are savages. Diplomacy is not their strong suit. But if it's true, if the captain did go to broker peace with the Dol Riada, you'd most likely find him at the All-Mother's Temple, where One Eye and his thugs are holed up. I can't say. I don't even know if my suspicions are correct. But if you need to find the captain, that's where I'd start looking. And if you do find the captain, tell him to return to the Horns of the South as soon as possible. Galahad the Pure is already on his way, and he won't be pleased to find a bunch of keepers hiding behind the walls without their commander. We'll all face consequences if that happens. Excalibur? You want to pull it out? That's a good one. Well, be my guest. If you think you can, go ahead. But unless you're King Arthur reborn, I wouldn't count on it. I'm Captain Brandon's right hand. He deals with the serious matters I don't want to know anything about. I take care of our everyday life. That's between her and the captain. Were it up to me, she'd be long gone. Her presence here distracts my men. Fine then. This is the keep. Anyone sworn in as a keeper lives here, unless they're no longer fit for service. If that happens, they get transferred to the village. Otherwise, they're not allowed to go there without my express permission. So if you ever see any of my boys down there looking shifty, feel free to report them. You're allowed to walk around the keep and the village, but if anyone catches you stealing, I'll take your hands. If you attack any of my men, I'll take your head. That enough for you?
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people suffer. And I mean it! He's a know-it-all from Camelot, but the truth is, he doesn't know shit. All of those academic types think they're better than us village folk, just 'cause they read a book. We've been getting by just fine without any of their crap. I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know what he did? He said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osprey to get it pulled out. Sounds like horse crap. My grandma was smarter than your lot, and she couldn't even read. She knew how to make a proper potion for toothache. If I were any good at mixing that stuff, I wouldn't need to deal with quacks like Heber. I even gave him my grandma's recipe, but he said it was no good. Oh yeah? And then what? Another and then another? Give it a few years and I'd be left with no teeth at all. Ah, leave me alone.
What do you need? This is a prison, not a museum. We don't admire here. We punish. At least, that's what they tell me to say. I'm supposed to be intimidating. Grrr. So the prisoners are scared of me. Usually, it's nothing but interesting folks. I'm telling you, in these crazy times, every one of them comes in with some wild tale. But right now, quiet as can be. Good thing I've got my books. All my adventures are in there these days. Because I am. I asked for this post. Just to get some peace, quiet, and warmth. No useless small talk. No shrieking seagulls. And none of that cursed biting wind. I'm telling you, it's heaven. And I get to read my books too. So if you've got anything interesting, I'd be glad to trade.
Who are you? What do you want? I don't recognize your face. I am. They told me it's for my safety, and the safety of others. I don't like it. The Keep is supposed to be my home, and yet here I am, locked in a damn jail. That cursed madman from the refugee group bit me. I think his name is Cole. The boys told me he's locked up in a cage now. Good. That's the proper place for animals like him. By the All-Mother, if I'd known he was carrying some foul disease, I wouldn't have gone near them. He's just mad. I told the others the group of refugees would bring no good here. And as you can see, I wasn't wrong. Cursed bastards. Damned if I know. Whenever I've had a fever or cold before, I could always explain it. But this, I can't find the words. Sometimes it feels like I'm fading away. Like the part of me that makes me who I am is disappearing. I don't know how to describe it. And there's a voice at times. It calls to me. Each night it draws nearer. Like a dreadful howl. Not at all human, that's for sure. At times, I hear our words within it. But more often, it's like a noise from deep within the bowels of the earth. Like something very wicked. The medic and that red priest both came to see me. Both shrugged, offering no cure. Heber says I should wait. But if you've got anything stronger to drink, I wouldn't say no. It might ease the pain, even just for a little. Thanks. That's really nice of you. Hold fast, and steer clear of those strangers.
So... Aye, that's for meat, is it? Me a throw... So... I knew it, my friend. Oh, delicious. You're the best, you know. Ah. So...
You're back. Name's Orla. What was I thinking?
Stay sharp. Give up.
Where do you think you're going? It's closed. Find a different one. Not my problem. Now scram before I lose my patience. Oh, really? Lying to Dalrita? You've got guts, but no honor. Lucky for you, I'm always willing to give people a chance to earn it back. Ah, that felt good. Come back if you want me to beat you to a pulp again.
The Horns of the South, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tintagel when Seawall and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a Knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keepers grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks. I suppose it wasn't. I can feel it guards something primordial within. The markings on the stone resemble the work of the Foredwellers. In my time, such inscriptions would shift and change, making them impossible to decipher. Yet, I met some people who sought to unravel these mysteries. Most of them were Picts. I allowed them to explore Avalon without my oversight. And so, I remember that the Royal Geographers came to be. My favorite band of adventurers. True pathfinders. Avalon owes them a great debt. I suppose it has. A pity it has become a hunting ground for bandits. But do not worry, my friend. Let us walk this path and make me whole again. I will restore this island to the glory it deserves, the King's Road included.
You again? What now? No. Ha! How could I say no to that? give you that. At least you're keeping me entertained. You again? No. You again?
That's the best news I've heard all week. Come on then, give it to me. Not really. We were never friends, just reluctant business partners. Her problems are hers alone, just like mine are mine. As long as they don't affect our mutual interests. Besides, it's a dangerous business. I know you can't always avoid the risks. Now that I think about it, since you managed to bring that package and Ness decided to ditch me, you might as well help with the next parts of the job. My client, you know who, wants the package delivered to a specific place. Once you're there, you'll use these very special arrows I'm about to give you and shoot the package from a safe distance. Regular arrows won't do the trick. And if you waste them before the job's done, I'll charge you for the next batch. These aren't gifts, they're tools. Oh, come on. What do you think happens when you shoot flaming arrows at a mysterious package? Think for a second. Anyway, whatever opens up in front of you, check it out, and then tell me all about it. If I were you, I wouldn't touch anything. But if something catches your eye, well, maybe nobody will notice. Just make sure to open the passage. What does he care? He pays me to get the job done. How I get it done and whose hands do the work, that's my business. Am I some kind of seer? I have no idea. The captain's my client, not my friend. But if the rumors about him cozying up to the Dalriada tribes are true, you might stumble upon something related to them. Maybe some long-lost artifacts. I haven't got a clue. Personally, I think the captain's just trying to suck up to them. That would be very much like him. You've never been to the merchant capital? Well, you didn't miss much. Yes, it's rich and extravagant, but only if you're rich and extravagant too. Other than that, it's a place like any other. The same pain and misery hiding behind gilded walls. It's not as exciting as people think. Or, well, maybe it is if you like living with a bunch of backstabbing crooks. Yeah, now I remember what I was thinking when I left that place. Not really. It's more of a requirement if you ever want to be successful in Timberwall. My family is full of them. I have no home in Timberwall. Well, we have an estate, but it hasn't felt like home for a long time. I feel like every time I go back, I recognize it less and less. The people are getting greedier and more desperate by the day. Business is slow, I'm not gonna lie. With the weirdness creeping in from the north and bandits everywhere, trade's just not as profitable as it used to be. But, I don't know. Being a merchant from Timberwall used to mean craftiness, taking risks, looking for opportunities. Now, they only care about keeping their heads down and preserving their fortunes.
Just another peaceful moment. Huh. It's Radahn, isn't it? That ungrateful bastard's still on the wall. Disagreement? Sure, you could call it that, and I guess I might have overreacted a bit. But since Dan is on the wall and I'm here, I couldn't tell him that I get it. The prank and all. And I forgave him a long time ago. And now that I think about it, it was a hell of a prank. Well, he was right. I am old, but inefficient, stung a little bit. After all, I did my job well, and his sword is as sharp as Excalibur itself. Well, I may not be angry with him anymore, but that doesn't mean I'll work my ass off so that his doesn't freeze. Here's an explanation of how to make it. Feel free to help him out yourself. Sometimes it's not. You doing okay?
Thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something I saw a little while ago. It might be interesting for an adventurer like you. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light there. I'm no sure what it could be, though.
A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. Maybe something else entirely?
It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting or valuable there.
Fair enough. Here, have this potion. It helps me with my pain, so if you suffer as well, it'll help.
It's nice to have a break.
There you are! Finally! Do you have what I need?
A mask? Eh? Are you sure?
Ah, whatever, sod it.
Now they'll get what's coming to them, damn rascals. You can go now. You're right. Here, take this. But don't think, even for a moment, that the struggle is over. We need more, much more, to finally rid ourselves of those blasted birds once and for all. Are you ready for the next step in our fight against the flying, shitting enemy? That's the spirit! In a war like this, every ally counts. Look, I've got the perfect seagull trap design right here. You just need to make a few and set them up in some strategic spots, like this one. And those flying pests will surely get caught. We need to work smart. Never. As long as I live and can do something, I'll keep fighting. Go on then, and fight against the flying vermin.
Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. Offer. Seriously? You'll have my eternal gratitude, but nothing more for now. Go on. Take it. Come to me afterwards. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. If Heber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass, and I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right, bringing medicine to my father. When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once. But nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess. See you around.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble? That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Heber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day, and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. Ugh. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds. Well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. No, not really. Fortunately. Please, try not to make my life harder, all right?
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. Oh, really? And what exactly did he tell you? That the man in the cage is a monster? That he deserves death? No? Cole isn't like that. This isn't who he is. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. Surprising, isn't it? It seems that Quartermaster Fergus banned any kind of vigilante behaviour. And the local healer said he wants to make sure whatever made Cole this way isn't contagious. So as long as that question remains unanswered, we're at a standstill. But honestly, if anything happens to that keeper, I have no doubt Cole will be killed and will be thrown out of the keep. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realised everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that. And in time, it only got worse. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
Bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day, my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my ass. So there. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the Keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. You sure have a lot of questions. Grab me a drink first, then we'll see. Ah. So, what was your question? Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. Getting a bit curious, I see. Hand me a drink, and I'll answer. Maybe. So... That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. Oh, so many questions. How about a drink first, and then we'll talk? Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me first.
It's no secret. He's just an old, bitter man who hates the entire world. And I'm a part of it, so, well, it is what it is. That's all. Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. Stay out of trouble.
You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day, there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction.
Jack knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business.
Getting a bit curious, I see. Hand me a drink, and I'll answer. Maybe. So... I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked... well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails. Loyal to a fault. A kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was. But I'm still here. Though some days I wonder why. Getting a bit... Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the horns. Damn fool mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff that get under your skin. Looked like... hell, memories all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Feast, you say? Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, make Grindylows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. Though when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. My brothers deserved better.